Hello, Maverick traders. Welcome out to your market roundup. It's January 27th. Corey here with you. As always, we're going to take you through meaningful news, and there was a big news event today. We're going to talk about how that shakes up sectors and skate to where the puck is going. We're going to look for bullish, neutral, or bearish ideas as those setups materialize.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional stock and option traders. Maverick Trading is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional trader for Maverick, click the Apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
Today was an interesting day, and it really revolved around AI, specifically this DeepSeek from China. That was the daily news, and the question is that poised to disrupt U.S. dominance? There's rules and regulation about chip sales, and can NVIDIA ship chips to them? Well, no, there's limitations on that, and how bad will that be for the Mag 7? That certainly was the area that suffered today. So it all centered around this AI question. The Dow was up on the day. It was up about 0.5%. The S&P and NASDAQ both down. You can see the NASDAQ clearly the underperforming sector, down 3% as a group. But the S&P was down 1.5%, and we know how big and impactful the Mag 7 are. Oil down 2%, gold down 1.3%. So it's kind of a weird day. Advanced decline line, about 40% of stocks up, 57% down. We're right at that 50-50 as far as above or below the 50-period moving average. So we're kind of in this indecisive state. Do we go up? Do we go down? So let's take a look at the S&P chart and figure out where we're going to go next. So today was interesting in that obviously we've been at a standstill, right? You can see how the moving averages are sloping sideways. We've spent a little time below, we've spent a little time above, and now we're right at them again. We're really indecisive from that state, but we had the huge gap down today, so it was a really ugly day on larger than normal volume. It doesn't push us below the moving averages, and there was even some buying from the open. So where do we go from here? I think there's likely to still be some follow through to the downside. I'll touch on why that is, and the NASDAQ is probably the chart to see it. So again, we've been in this sideways consolidation, but gap down, big volume day, and look, this has already been happening. We had a big breakdown here on volume. This, I think, is followed through. Now, are we in a clear-cut downtrend? I'd say no, but this is a true unknown unknown. Sometimes you have known knowns, sometimes you have known unknowns, and sometimes you have unknown unknowns. A known known would be like Russia's election. It's all a sham. We know the date and time of the election, and we know Putin's going to win. Sometimes, you just know what the outcome is going to be, and it's previously scheduled. Most of the time, the market has known unknowns. So we know when companies are going to report earnings. We know the date and the time. We know when the Fed's going to make a decision, right? This Wednesday, there's going to be an FOMC. So it's scheduled, and there's an unknown. We don't know exactly what the company is going to report for revenues and earnings. We don't know exactly what the Fed's going to change or say in their statement, but it's mostly known. It's mostly priced in. So this is all the way priced into stocks because there's no new news. This is mostly priced in. So even though there's earnings or, a Fed meeting or an unemployment report or whatever, it's mostly already priced in. Why? Because the market's very, very intelligent. The market is doing homework and figuring out what X company is going to report and doing channel checks and this and that. So there's not usually major surprises. Sometimes a company will just come out of nowhere and completely miss and have a debacle, but you'll see bigger reactions because it's a bigger unknown. When you get a true unknown unknown, meaning it was not scheduled, not planned for, not known in advance, and it brings up all these question marks, this is not priced in at all. And that's what this DeepSeek is to the AI trade. It is a true negative unknown for US based companies. Why? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe. But maybe it is something. And what if the AI race gets split between the US and China? Everybody kind of thought the US was going to run away with it. Well, what if it's split? What if it's a true dead heat? Well, would that mean that half of the revenues and earnings and the potential go to the US and half of them go to China? And all of a sudden, you're starting to see that other countries might get their AI from China and this and that, and that the revenues and earnings and future potential for corporations like Microsoft and Nvidia and these businesses to capture all of those revenues and earnings and capitalize on that has taken a hit. You would have to say that whatever your models are for projecting future growth and opportunity is at least less today than it was previously because we have true competition. And you can see the markets feel that way. Nvidia down double digit percentage wise and so forth. So don't think for a second that this is a nothing. It's not a nothing. And there might even be an argument to say, well, what if China beat the US? What could that mean for the US's global power and so on? Now, I don't want to get too far down the rabbit hole, but let's be realistic. This is a true unknown. So, would I expect the reaction is bad, but it's all priced in one day? I don't think so. You might get a bounce, but I would anticipate that there will be follow through. That's the way I would be leaning. If we look at the Russell, it's not really in the tech space. Actually, it's more financials based, so small reaction. But again, looks a little weaker in terms of the chart than strong. So the heat map is really wacky. You see a lot of green on here, but yet the downside, I mean, Nvidia is down 17%. Broadcom down 17. All of this area that's semiconductor related, just bright red. Microsoft, Google, Tesla, anyone that's big in the AI space took it on the chin today. And again, there are a lot of question marks because this was a true unknown. Now, let's look at some plays here. On the bullish side, things unrelated to this. Abbott Labs broke out. This is a true runaway bullish move. It's it's in that RSI overdrive scenario where it's probably just gonna surprise you at how high it can go. Bank of America, here we have one that's just zigging and zagging to the upside, right? Higher highs, higher lows. We just set a higher low than the prior low, probably on the cusp of a higher high than the prior high. So just simply trading the trend, trading the momentum, and you can see the target would be about 48 here in the very short term. On the bearish side, this is actually a uranium company, CCJ. So why would we put this up when we're talking about AI? Well, it's a big driver for some of these other companies. Why is CCJ down 15%? Because of where is AI going to be powered? It's going to be powered in the nuclear plants. It's going to be powered in these opportunities. And these companies have committed hundreds of billions of dollars of capital to build out nuclear plants and to have enough energy needs for them to sustain them for decades to come and so on. Microsoft has done it, Google's done it, et cetera, et cetera. And well, the question marks that remain with AI and this China competition, well, it's not just the quote unquote tech names, it's other companies whose future dominance and revenues and earnings are now more vulnerable than they were just a few days ago before this unknown hit. EIX, this one, just more of a downtrending play. Nothing too special about this. Big drop, smaller drop. You might get another little bounce, but ultimately probably a push below these levels. So this unknown has hit the Mag 7. I would personally expect more follow through. The Fed meeting comes out on Wednesday. When they sell stocks because of the Fed, they'll blame it on the Fed. I still think It's probably more related to follow through here if the market tumbles further. We got Apple, we got Boeing, Microsoft, Meta, aka Facebook, Tesla, Visa, ExxonMobil. You can see we're right in the heart of earnings season. We've got Fed meetings, we got big earnings reports, we got a lot to pay attention to. Hope you enjoyed today's market roundup. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.